Holy smokes, were they ever lucky tonight. The Oilers kick off this 7-game road trip with a 2-1 overtime victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. Hey, everybody, welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show, live on location at Boston Pizza, Clairview. We had a great time here tonight. Tom Gazzola alongside Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, who came out and took part in the festivities and hoopla and the emotional roller coaster ride that was Edmonton's game tonight, alongside some of our favorite nasties. You got Mo back there and his lovely wife. They're awaiting their first child. Next week, we're being told El Presidente is here. They won the tickets to the Oilers games against St. Louis on January 18th. We had Aaron, Darren, and Mackenzie that were here. Cal and Sarah were here. Denise and her crew were here. I feel like I'm forgetting some people, but we had a lot of nasties here tonight, and we always appreciate it. Big thank you to Lisa and Jason and the entire staff here at BP Clairview as the Oilers pick up the 2-1 OT victory. Benny Thomson back at EST Global HQ. You're going to hear from Matt Kassian, our game analyst. He'll be hopping on right away here. And, of course, we want you to text us because we want to hear your thoughts on the Oilers' victory tonight, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel-electric components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical electric component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. DVD and Benny, I mean, you think Travis Konechny on a nice, nifty redirection with like 23 and a half seconds left wins it for the Flyers. They review it. It's offside. As Reed Wilkins texts me, it was a league-initiated review, not a coach's challenge. And then it was deemed offside because it was. We could see it on the 174-inch screen back here. Crystal clear. Crystal yes. Clear. And then the Oilers go and win it. Nice play by Matt Savoie over to Jack Roslovic, and he gets the job done. DVD, some takeaways from tonight's Oilers victory.
Listen, you know what? They needed some luck to win. Yes, they did.
Did they ever?
I thought they played pretty well. I thought there was times they really dominated the game, and it was one of those things. I think the shots at one time were like 24-7, and I turned to you and say they only have one goal, so you know Philadelphia's going to get the next one.
Yeah, of course.
Shot. And they ended up tying the game, and that's very indicative of what we've seen here in the past when the Oilers dominate territory, or they get lots of shots on net, and they only have the one goal lead, and you're only a one shot away from tying the game. So I thought they played pretty well, especially a road game. They had their legs. They had the Philadelphia pinned in their own end for long stretches in that first period and that second period. Played well in the third period. Yeah, they needed some luck there at the end with the offside call. Again, little mistakes. There was a little mistake at the end there. I think Savoie couldn't get the puck out, made a soft play with a minute to go. Yeah. The puck got stuck in the zone. Like little things like that go a long way, especially if you're a young player. I'm sure he's going to get pulled aside and say, hey, man, minutes to go. You cannot make that soft play at the blue line and keep the puck in the zone there like that. But I thought they played pretty well. And Jack Roslovic, him and I had a really good conversation about a week ago, talking about waiting for his turn, waiting for a contract. He didn't get his contract, and he had to kind of wait and maybe, he humbled a little bit by that. He took a pay cut. Humbled a little by that, and it's very surprising. He's a 20-goal scorer.
Yep.
So it's surprising that maybe, he didn't get what he wanted. I think he changed agents, and then they came back to the Oilers. The Oilers went to him and said, we want you to play here, but this is all we can afford to pay you. And he's like, I'm going to weigh my options. There weren't very many options, and then they came back to Edmonton. I had a great chat with him last week, and he's happy to be here. And you can tell he's a really skilled player. He's really skilled, really smart. And as impressive as that overtime winner was, Tom, we thought it was offside. And then we thought it might be. Yeah, and then we saw him drag that back leg. Like that's a smart play. Yes. Like to drag the leg like that and to stay on side and then take the pass from Savoie and bury it. Obviously, it's a big win for the Oilers. It's a great way to start the road trip. You got a win in your back pocket. You get a chance tomorrow.
Good luck, Mo. His baby on the way.
Congratulations. You get a chance to come back tomorrow and put a couple of wins in your pocket, and then that takes the pressure off some of this road trip. So it was a good win. I thought they played well. Stuart Skinner made some big saves. I didn't think he had he was kind of screened on the first one.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing, and I don't I guess it's the way they play it now. When a guy is screening your goalie, you go and stand beside him, and so now you got two guys screening the goalie. I don't understand that either.
I don't know.
Get him out of the way or get out of the way. And on that goal, you saw Ekholm kind of just stand there. And he's kind of in the lane, and it's like either block it or get out of the way.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that, the late goal that didn't count, that was a great tip.
That's
through
tip.
traffic. The puck gets tipped. It bounces 3 times. It goes past. So what are you going to do if you're the goalie? I thought, he made the saves when he needed to, and it was a good win.
All right. We're going to get to Matt Kassian here. Benny, quick thoughts from you, and then let's get Cass going in this one.
Yeah.
Bye, Sarah. Bye, Cal.
It was... like you guys were saying, I thought the Oilers were the better team for the full 60. Obviously, you expected the Flyers to push back in that third period, and they came out flying with some hits, and they kind of they pulled themselves into the game with their physicality and bringing the Oilers into, scrums and all that stuff, which I was fine seeing from the Oilers' perspective. It's good to see some passion and guys going at it and sticking up for one another. Connor took a pretty big hit from Seeler there in the second period, and some guys stuck up for him, which was good. But how different this conversation is if that play isn't offside in the third period, and we're talking about how the Oilers had all the chances but just couldn't bury it and all this stuff and all this time on ice and in the Flyer zone and all that. But that gets reversed with a lucky call in the end of the third and turn around and scoring in overtime. So overall, though, I think my opinion would have stayed pretty much the same. The Oilers were the better team tonight. Would you have liked to see them finish some of their chances? Of course, but I think it's going to get better as the season goes along, as they get more guys back in the lineup. So, overall, I think you take it. Yeah, be happy with the Oilers' effort tonight.
2 points on the board for the Oil. Start this road trip the right way as we welcome in our game analyst, Matt Kassian, to help us break down Edmonton's 2-1 overtime victory. Of course, text us your thoughts, 780-218-9999, and get to the nasty chat. Jimmy O says Jack Roslovic's cojones were still on the blue line, so no offsides there. This one says, Tommy, did you spill food on your white tea? No, I don't think so. I had the vodka penne, crispy chicken vodka penne. I think I'm okay.
It's just a shadow.
I don't know. It's just a shadow. I did spill any food. Thank you for asking. Appreciate your caring about my white T-shirt. Coach Mike says 2-game heater. Still need some depth scoring. That one from Coach Mike. We want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. Jay says, me like Savoie. Straight up. Cass. I don't know. I mean, they won. Looked like they lost there. The league calls down, says, nope, that's offside. And do you look at this one positively? Do you go, I'm still a bit leery? How do you overall assess this victory from the Oilers tonight?
Yeah. Guys, this one is this may be the most positive game of the year for me, for the Edmonton Oilers. And you might not agree with that, and that's okay.
I don't disagree. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, well, and here's why. Here's why. This was the first time where, for not even for 2 games in a row, they won against Columbus, and they come out today, and they were the far better team. And I know they just about lose that. It was offside. Now I hate that it's 13 seconds, whatever it was after. I never liked the potential time gap, so I don't love that it was, but it was offside. And Edmonton, we would have liked to have seen them score more goals when they were absolutely dominant.
Yes.
But for a vast majority of the game, they were a better team. Now, Philly, who's not a bad team, they make a push. And Edmonton, I thought, dealt with it just fine. Now, I liked some of the physicality and the pushback. I know people don't love that Frederick took a penalty there with the goalie interference late in the game, but to me, I'm just kind of I would rather have the guy taking a little bit of those penalties and getting in fights and getting involved and walking that line a little bit. We haven't seen that much of it. So to me, guys, just overall, Evan Bouchard, I thought, was pretty good tonight, and we talked about him before the game. So it's Bouchard, after that benching, solid game today. defensively, I thought overall the team was pretty good today. And you found a way to win 2 games in a row. And yes, it's overtime, but guys, it's something to build on here. 2 wins, 1 on the road. You dramatically outplayed the team across from you in this one, and that's a positive. Like this, if they would have lost this one, it would have felt much more maybe like last season where they were outscoring or outchancing teams, but just couldn't find a way to score.
Yeah.
This one had almost the same feel to it, but guys, I loved how dominant they were. And yes, Philly pushed back, but at the end of the day, they found a way to win. And to me, that's just, that's huge.
The lounge here at BP Clareview was pretty full. And when that shot redirection went in, it deflated quickly. You're like, oh my God, of course they let that in. And there was a lot of anger. And then when they reviewed it and it was deemed offside, because it was, the relief in this room was pretty funny. So, hey, they get the win. I'll ask you this, Cass. The fact that this team can't add to its leads almost 20 games into the season, and DVD jumping on this too. The fact that they can't build up leads and hold leads, they've had so many 2-goal leads that they've essentially pissed away, as I like to say. How concerning is it? Because it's a quarter of the way through the season. DVD and Cass, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it.
DVD, go ahead, and then I'll chime.
Okay, I'll go. Sure. You know what? This is nothing new, though. This is something that they've been doing for a couple of years. They're unable to put teams away, and I don't know what it is. Sometimes I think they look for that perfect play, especially when they're up. They're looking for that pretty play. They give up a lot of shots, and then when they get shots, they don't have guys in front of the net. They don't get those greasy goals. And I think sometimes they make bad decisions with the puck and just throw it at the net, but there's no one there. There's no one in front. So, I think they just got to kind of bear down. They were playing well, but I think, you look at Dan Vladar's game today and you're like, okay, well, he only had 2 goals scored out of him in overtime. But how many great saves did he have to make? Like, I don't. There's not one that jumps out at me. Like, there's a couple that he got his shoulder on. There's one on McDavid late that I think he got. He was able to kind of steer away, but he didn't make unbelievable saves. Like, you're like, oh, what a great save that was. So I just think it's one of those things that the Oilers are able to put pressure on, but sometimes they get too cute in front of the net. And then when they do shoot the puck, they're not dirty enough. You got to get to those dirty areas and score those ugly goals. They all count the same. There's no style points in hockey, and I think that's something that I think they need to be better at.
Cass, how do you look at their inability to get that killer instinct, if you will?
Yeah, we talked about that before the game, about getting to the front of the net and getting to the inside on the Philadelphia Flyers. And it does transcend just this game where that is something that they have had challenges with, which is why, Trent Frederick, again, we don't like that he takes the penalty, but I'm happy he's there, right? Like, I'm happy he's at the net, and I'm happy that there's commotion afterwards and that Janmark's in and chittering at guys, and all of a sudden, the Oilers' temperature is raised a couple degrees. So I think as a team, DVD hit the nail on the head. At times we see their 2 perimeter, and at times when they do try to put the puck to the net, there's just nobody there, and it doesn't create chaos. And to me, that's where Zach Hyman could be so huge coming back for this group, because that's one of the things that he does incredibly well, is find his way around the net and find a way to put pucks in around the net. Here's to hoping that leads and inspires them with that. But I do agree with DVD. I think that's been a huge challenge for the Oilers this season.
Just the 3rd time this year the Oilers have strung together back-to-back victories. They do not have a 3-game winning streak at all this season, but they do improve the record tonight. 8 wins now. 8, 6, and 4 is where the Oilers stand, picking up a pair of points against the Philadelphia Flyers in a 2-1 overtime victory. It's Tom, it's Derek, live on location at Boston Pizza Clareview. We had a great time here. Great prizes given out. You got Cass back at EST's Satellite Studios, a.k.a. his basement studio. And then we've got our boy Benny Thomson back at our global HQ on the city's West End. We do want to hear from you, 780-218-9999. We're going to go to Big Dave here. Says, Big, Dave, I'm happy the Oilers got the win. I love that Roslovic has 2 overtime winners in a row. Oilers were the better team, but could have been way better. I think it's time to talk about how bad this team is at passing the puck. Still way too many turnovers because of bad passing. And if Philly was a better team, the vibe would be way different tonight. When they were getting their opportunities in the second period and they were controlling the play and dominating the shot clock, quick, efficient passes, no, Cass? But then they kind of got away from that. Is that fair, or do you see it differently?
Yeah, a little bit. It's almost like they maybe got concerned that the puck wasn't in the net, and it's just like they tried to start doing too much with it a little bit. Now, DVD, what do you think?
No, I think Philly's not a bad team. They're not it's not the same Flyers team as last year. I think they got some good players on that team. I think that to me this was a really almost a perfect road game, minus the fact that they couldn't convert on some of those chances. Yeah. And I'm with you, Cass, about Trent Frederic. I had no problem with that penalty late. I thought he's got to take the puck to the net. He's got to run the goalie over every now and then. He's got to create that havoc. We talked about not enough guys create that havoc.
Right.
So you can't can't be upset with a guy when he does it. Obviously the timing wasn't great, but you need a guy like that. You need him to have that little chip on his shoulder and play with a bit of an edge and teeter on that dirty side type thing. Like you need it. Like that's what Corey Perry did last so well. Right. Okay. He's made a career of it. I think if I was a head coach, if I was Chris Knobloch, I'd be like, here's tapes of Corey Perry's 200 games or whatever. Go through these, play this way. He doesn't have the same skill set that maybe Corey Perry did, but no, if you're starting to nitpick wins, then that's not a bad thing. Like people say, they got lucky with the overtime goal. Yeah, just win, baby. Yeah. Just win. That's all they care. At the end of the day, 3 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, we're not going to remember the overtime, or the offside. We're just going to look at this. Oh yeah, they beat the Flyers. It's just win, baby. It doesn't matter how. It's how many. And I think right now they deserve that win. Sometimes you win games you don't deserve to win. Sometimes you lose games you deserve to win. They deserve to win that game. They got a little bit of luck. I don't think we should be nitpicking the victory.
What do you...
Cass, I'll let you respond.
I was just going to jump in and keep going. I think that was a pretty complete statement. I was going to ask you guys what you thought of Matt Savoie tonight, because I thought, it shows up on the point sheet, but a very, very good game from him tonight.
He's getting rewarded. We talked about it a bit on the Oil Stream this afternoon. It's they're encouraged by like the little things he's been doing. And Cass, you and I have talked about, maybe it's not there. And I know some analytics folks were saying his underlying numbers aren't particularly great. They got to stop using him. Howard's more effective. Clearly the coaching staff doesn't feel that way because it's the little things that maybe aren't as, that don't show up on the stat sheet and the Excel sheet, whatever you use, that you watch and you see, and it's like, oh no, he's in the right place. He's doing the right thing. It'll eventually come around for him. And maybe tonight he was rewarded a little bit, creating that opportunity and setting up Jack Roslovic. I don't know. Everything we've heard from Chris Knobloch indicates to us that he's here to stay. He's not going anywhere unless things go completely sideways. And if he's having encouraging performances, you guys, and he's going to get rewarded with points finally, then he's down the right path. That's what it tells me. What would you guys say to that?
Well, the thing with me is that, covering the Western Hockey League for so long, you see the guys that make it and the guys that don't make it. You talk to a lot of scouts, you talk to a lot of GMs, and there's two things you can't teach. You can't teach speed and you can't teach hockey sense. And he's got them both. And he's got speed and he's got hockey sense, so he can keep up to the game and he makes smart plays. Everything else, you can teach defensive positioning. You can teach, awareness. You can teach everything else. And I think that's what makes him a good player, is that he has that ability. And I think last year was so big for him to kind of go down and learn the game and play the game at the professional level, dominate in the second half of the year, learn how to kill penalties, do all those little things. And then once you get those little things down, then that kind of creates in kind of your overall game. But he's got the skills that you can work with. You can't teach a guy to skate. If you can't keep up, you're in big trouble. And if he doesn't have hockey sense, he doesn't know where to go or what to do with the puck when he gets it or play off his teammates, then you're in trouble. And we've seen some players like that come in here and just have no hockey sense or not sure to know where to go and what to do in certain situations. And everything else can be taught. But to me, those are the two things that are necessary, and he has them. And so you can work with him, and then he's just going to get more and more confident as the season goes along.
Cass, are we taking crazy pills?
No, he's. I mean, I've been watching him for years, and he is an incredibly smart player, as has been said. And yes, there was things he had to learn, and still has to learn. Still a very young player, still going to mature, still going to grow. But he's got hockey sense, and he's got speed. He understands where to be on the ice. And I think we're seeing growth even this year. Like, I would say Matt Savoie now is much better already than Matt Savoie at the start of the season. Like, there's just there has been continued growth there. I mean, if we're picking apart little specifics, guys, that little freeze, like, he freezes Vladar pretty good. Like, and if you watch, like, he doesn't look at Roslovic until that puck's already on its way over there. Like, right. And Vladar has sold out completely that Savoy's basically going to try to walk in on him. Like, it was a beautiful little play, gives him a little shimmy on it, and sells it. He's got some of that high-end skill, and he's going to continue, I think, to put up some points here and be an important part of this. So that was a great game from him. Will be interesting when Hyman comes back to see exactly where he slots in. Like, that will be interesting to me to see how they utilize him moving forward. But for now, I think he had an incredibly strong game, and I'm very happy, as should most fans be, with Savoie.
Yeah, in on both goals, 2 assists tonight, +2, 16:05 time on ice. Also 1 shot and 1 giveaway, 50% on the dot. I know you can't see Benny Thomson, but I can hear him smiling back at our EST Global HQ. Jump in there, Benny, because you had an interesting conversation in regard to Matt Savoie tonight.
I'm not going to dive too much into it just because I end up being right. But let's just say I got a text from someone close to me saying that he wasn't very happy with his production, with Savoie's production, I should say. And I thought that was a little premature and just frustration on what was happening and not scoring, and he's directing to one player. And then he ended up getting proven right, and Savoie makes the play on the overtime winner. But I mean, like Cass said, I think he's trending in the right direction. The points haven't been there, but man, like, he does every little thing. Like, he does all the little things right. He's a first guy on a forecheck. He creates loose pucks. He's not a liability in his own end. In fact, he's solid in his own end. He's reliable. I haven't checked since I sent the text in the middle of the third period, but let me give one more check. Last I saw, he was 4th in forwards in ice time for the Oilers today, which, I mean, tells me right away that Chris Knobloch has all the faith and trust in Matt Savoie to be out there in pretty much any situation, which I think it's been warranted. He's played well enough this year to deserve those minutes. And I've been saying for the past couple overtimes, I'm like, I love Podkolzin, hard worker, and I have no problem with him playing top 6 minutes or whatever as of right now. But I would have Savoie over Podkolzin in overtime. I've been saying that past couple days.
Yes.
Sure enough, it ends up turning out right, because I think Savoie can make the play like he made today to Roslovic for the overtime winner. So yeah, I'm happy to see him growing, and like you guys were saying, I don't think he's anywhere near getting sent down, at least for the next little while.
No, Savoie finishes 6th on the team, and at least among the forwards in time on ice, 16:05 +2. That improves his plus-minus from a -7 to a -5, and he doubles his point total on the season. He's now up to 4 points. All right, this text had come in. It said, Matty Savoie gaining a ton of confidence from his coach, and for good reason. The kid has been very noticeable as of late. Dirty Curdy texted, says, never in doubt. Happy for Savoie. And Jack, what the hell were we doing backing in on the goal that was called back? 2 lucky wins now. We need to earn a few, says Dirty Curdy. That goal that was nullified by the offside cast, if it had stood, even the fact that it didn't, concerning. Dirty Curdy said the backing in part. DVD was alluding to the one goal where Ekholm basically gets out of the way from the point shot. We saw that from Bouchard, absolutely lambasted him earlier in the year. I can't remember what play that was. I think that was on Long Island, or was it somewhere else, where he basically turned away. Was it in Seattle?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was one of those. But anyway, why are they doing this? Is it just to let the goalie see the shot? He's being screened anyway by the opposition players. What do you make of that sequence where the Oilers got lucky and the goal was called back?
I think that was St. Louis, if I recall.
St. Louis,
correctly.
yeah, that's right. Thank you,
Bouchard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's moving to the side and there's moving to the side, and there's moving to the side like Bouchard did in that instance, and there's getting out of the way so your goalie can see it. Now, if you're going to get out of the way, you got to get out of the way, right? Like it's not an either or in that situation. It's like you got to block it or you got to get out of the way. I do think they were a little backed off in that instance, and I think the mentality probably was let's play for a point. And so they're just kind of just sitting back a little bit too much, which I don't love. So I don't love how much they backed off into the zone. A lot of modern coaches and modern defensemen, like they do try to either front guys in front of the net. They're not necessarily trying to just get tied up and moving. And part of that is the way penalties are called at times with different referees. Part of that is you're thinking mobility and the ability to actually pick up a puck, because if you're trying to push and shove and move a guy, well, guess what? Your hands are typically like on the player, like you're pushing them, because if you use the middle of your stick, it's a cross check. So you're generally pushing with your hands, which means if there is a loose puck there, it's going to be harder for you to pick it up. And that's, again, not all coaches want that, but lots of coaches do from a defensive standpoint. Now, again, if you're going to get out of the way, you have to get out of the way. You know, Darnell Nurse, if he's going to drop down to one knee, if you're going to go down right there, you got to know you're going to get it. And if you're not, you have to find a way to tie up a stick. Like, so it's a skill. I don't want to say they're wrong, and even Ekholm in that one, because it's such a, like, you also have to know who's in front of the net, right? What hand that person is, who's shooting from the point. Like, there's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. So I don't know. I am more of the opinion. I prefer to tie up the stick and to not front or not slide off to the side, but Edmonton Oilers, and it's been the last couple of years, they seem to. Yep. That's how they want to play it, and that's a prerogative. Some of that has to do with outside of Darnell Nurse, they're not the most physical defensemen, so they're going with, okay, where are we more likely to win a battle? Are we more likely to win a battle by fronting or by just taking away the lane, or is it going to be by engaging physically? And it seems to be that they generally favor just trying to front or to just get out of the way.
They disengage physically quite quickly, and it has led to a lot of goals, it feels like. Tonight, they do get lucky, and there was a goal called back due to an offside. And again, there was a screen in front of Stu Skinner on that connecting tip-in that ended up being called back. So a good point by Cass, like talking about the personnel and the lack of physicality.
No, I think that matters. If you're a smaller defenseman, you're not going to be able to push
those guys.
Bigger guy out of the way. Those
aren't small defensemen that they have. They're softer.
Well, they're softer, but yeah. It's really strong. I guess Darnell Nurse, Matthias Ekholm, those guys can throw. Woman, they're pretty big guys. I get that, but yeah, no, it's. I guess you know what, and Cass, maybe you can shed some light. How much does the goalie play a factor? Like, what would he rather have you do? Would he rather have you tie a guy up, or would he rather have you get the guy out of the way? I'm sure there's goalies that would rather have guys get out of the way, or goalies that would rather have you fight for that rebound. Let me make the first save, and then you just get rid of the rebound. So I'm sure that has a factor as well in it as well, how they approach things like that.
Yeah, no, that's actually a great point, is that goaltending does factor into it and their preferences. What do they want? What do they prefer? So, that's a very, very good point, because that could be something, Stuart Skinner is asking for. Now, should he ask for that or not? We'll let YouTube and the Skinner scapegoat syndrome people have a heyday with that. However, that definitely could be something he's asking for.
Yeah.
Cass slides one of those in there. Well done, sir. Well done. Let's go to the text line, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, the Oilers win 2-1 in overtime. Jack Roslovic, second straight OT winner. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night in Columbus, by the way. Coach Mike wants to know, guys, is it between Philp or Howard as to who goes down to Bakersfield? Savoie earned his spot. we can pretty much confirm that. We've been praising Savoie all show, but who would you guys see being sent down when Hyman's ready to go? And by the way, guys, just a quick thing on Nugent Hopkins. I was told that it was an innocuous play on a zone entry where he banged his head and he's got a head injury. So that's where you get the 1 week minimum on Nugent Hopkins. Anyway, so when it comes to the guy that would probably get sent down injury-wise, or when Hyman returns from his injury, who do you guys think it'll be? Cass, who would you go to?
I mean, Howard's the easy choice. Not playing a ton of minutes, doesn't have to clear waivers. I think Philp is the second one. I know there's lots of people that would say, hey, try to make it Curtis Lazar. Lazar's going to kill more penalties, and the last 2 games has been actually decently effective. So I'm probably going to go Howard just because he's the easiest choice in a lot of ways.
Howard, lowest ice time today, 7:38. Philp, second lowest. Frederick, third lowest. Lazar at 11:10, just ahead of Frederick. Go ahead, Dean.
No, I agree. I agree with Cass there. I think the thing is, the jump from the NCAA, unless you're an absolute stud like Cale Makar, is tough to make. It's absolutely tough to make. And I think you're skipping maybe a level or two, and I think it's not going to do Isaac Howard any harm to go down to play in the American Hockey League, play first, top 6 minutes, play probably on the first power play, do other things, and it's not going to hurt him at all. I know that this is a guy that wanted to come up here, and I think, this might have opened his eyes. Like, he's played, he's got 3 points in 17 games now or something like that. Like, it's not a lot. And so I think he wanted to come here and say, no, I think I can play at this level. And then maybe you realize, you know what, it's not going to hurt me to do some seasoning, get to know the professional game a little better. Because this kid's going to hit the wall soon, because they all hit the wall at college, because they're playing so much hockey.
Right.
Like, he's played 17 games in a span of 2 months. In U.S. college, they don't do that. They play every weekend.
Yeah.
So it takes a long time to get to that 17 game. So I think, the Oilers have nothing to lose by sending him down there, because he's just going to get a bit more seasoning. He's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to get a lot of touches with the puck. He's going to do a lot of things, and he's going to develop. And I honestly, we talked to him at the beginning of the year, and we said, hey, what if they have to send you down? Then he said, then they send me down. I'm not going to be all upset about it. I'm going to go down there and play as hard as I can. If that's what they feel is best for my development, that's what I'll do. So he said the right things, and I'm sure he, playing 20 games, let's say he plays 20 games, 25, sure. 22, 23 games. Then they say to him, okay, here's the situation, Isaac. We think you need to go down, have some seasoning, come back in January or come back after the Olympic break, and I think you're going to be a better fit, or you're going to be better prepared, and we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, I think that's the obvious option as well. Is like, he's got to go down, because right now he's an offensive guy that's not producing offense.
Right. Chris G via the Nasty Chat said, Nugent Hyman back on Saturday. If you missed it, I just said it. It sounds like, or I was told it's a head injury for Nugent Hopkins. He's on IR. They put him on. That's a minimum of a week. And DVD, you and I were talking, he's not even on the trip right now.
Well, no, you can't fly. If you have a concussion, you can't fly, right?
Yeah.
He's not depending on bad the concussion is, I guess. But yeah, so they'll probably keep him at home, monitor him. Once he feels better, he's got to go through this battery of tests. And then once they do the battery of tests, they say, okay, get on a flight and then go meet the team wherever they are at the time. But
Cass, speaking of that, Cass, did you have to go through that protocol before?
Nope.
Oh.
Because if I had a concussion, I definitely wasn't telling anybody.
Yeah, it's a different time back then. You just got the smelling salts. Get back out there.
Get back out there and pretend nothing's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then the famous Paul Kariya didn't remember anything after that hit from Scott Stevens.
Yeah.
It's not like a final, and he went and scored the winning goal.
Beautiful goal, too.
Yeah. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? It's happened. I've played a whole 3/4 of a football game when Cuss didn't know the score of the game. So you just go into autopilot sometimes, but obviously they're more aware of that now. That with everything going on, than they were back then. Back then, they were just like, just walk it off, smelling salts.
Yeah.
Let's go, walk it off.
At least we've come quite a ways compared to those times. A little bit old school there. All right, Conroe, Texas, texting in saying, Stu's best game of the year despite low shot total, but the real story, Matt Savoie, breakout game. Thank you, Conroe, Texas. Good to hear from you. This one out of Vancouver says, I like how Savoie seems to always keep a puck alive, but battling and digging pucks off. Knows how to possess the puck in the O zone. Thank you for that text. This one says Jack Roslovic, more like Jack Golsovic. And this one from Adam in Lloyd says, hey, boys, skin of their Cajones. Again, still lots of improvement required. Nice to see that game from Savoie. He had a really solid game for a rookie. Nurse was brutal tonight. That guy needs a brain surgery to uncross whatever wires are crossed in his head. Team overall still having a hell of a time finding goals. First period, they outshot Philly significantly, but only had 3 high-danger scoring chances. Second was 6. Third was 1, which matches the eye test. Oilers let them back in after that power play goal. They tried to get cute again in third. Stupid passes instead of putting it deep and forechecking. They seemed tired and defaulted back to that game. Haven't looked, but would be interested to see time on ice amongst the team tonight. Anyway, win's a win. They don't ask you how in the end, just how many. Have a good night, boys. Beers didn't turn sour tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow. Cheers, Adam from Lloyd. So good text there from Adam from Lloyd. I have a question for you, Cass, and then even DVD. This came in from my old coach, Darren, who is here tonight with Aaron and his daughter, Mackenzie. And it has to do with Connor McDavid. I asked this to Belzy, but I'm not. Belzy was kind of like, more ho-hum. But Cass, I think I'm curious to hear what you have to say. So my old coach, Darren, said, hey, Tommy, I've been watching more of the Oilers so far since I'm not coaching much this season. I was wondering if you've noticed the same. I feel like McDavid's attack angle when he has the puck is different this season. Seems like he might be over his toes a little more, which is leaving the puck more vulnerable as well as being a little slower to react laterally to pressure. I could be out of my mind, but thought you may have the resources to confirm or at least share your thoughts. I took a crack at it. I just said it looks like he's different when he's got the puck in the offensive zone, and I have noticed that. I don't know how to decipher it that well, but I asked Belzy. Like I said, Belzy kind of gave a little bit this, a little bit of that. Cass, have you noticed anything about how McDavid is attacking and the over-the-toes part that my old coach Darren asked about?
I can't say that I've specifically watched to see if he's over his toes.
Okay.
Although I will now have to because I hadn't thought of that.
Well, he's an old coach, so he knows a thing or two.
Watches a thing. No, I'm not saying I disagree or agree. I just say I haven't watched for it, so I don't know.
No, I know.
It didn't, to me, because I thought he was on a mission that game against Columbus.
Yes.
And he looked very good that game. That game, it looked typical. From a pacing standpoint, like he had that pace and that explosiveness that at times he seems to have not have as much this year. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Something to watch for, but I haven't been paying attention. We'd have to pull some old clips too to see.
DVD, notice anything?
That's a coach noticing something that probably we wouldn't. I wouldn't. Like McDavid is McDavid. The one thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, Tom, about Connor McDavid. Looks thinner this year than he did a little bit last year.
He's never been thick.
He's never been thick, but he does look like slighter. Like, I'm sure his legs are still huge and whatever. It's a hockey thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't take the summer off, he said. Like, he said he was back on the ice 10 days after or 7 days after, after the Stanley Cup. And he says, I didn't take the summer off. Like, I worked all summer, so I'm in good shape. And that's not necessarily always a good thing. Like, sometimes you need, they did go to France for that vacation for Dion's wedding and things like that. But
they honeymooned with them.
I don't know the situation, but he said basically I didn't take the summer off, so I skated all summer. So I don't know. I think sometimes you do need that time off to kind of regroup and regear and go at it again. And these guys have played a lot of hockey.
They have
in the last 5 years. I think more hockey than anyone, with the exception of the Florida Panthers.
Right.
I believe. So, it's been a lot of hockey. Is he as assertive as he was before? No, maybe not. But he can still take a game over, as we saw the other night against Columbus.
Cass, you're always intrigued by the science of the game and how a body reacts, and you like to talk about that. Have you noticed anything with his physical attributes in terms of what DVD was saying? If he just had 10 days between Game 7 or Game 6 of the Cup final and then just back to working out like it's the regular off season, what do you think of that?
Well, you don't. Even if it's just 10 days, you're still 3 weeks behind, 4 weeks behind everybody else. You play that or more. And that happens a couple years in a row. It could affect you. It's one of the reasons why modern dynasties are so difficult, because it's difficult on your body. And guys like McDavid that are playing 22, 23, 24 minutes a night, that's a high anaerobic output. And to maintain muscle mass, it can be very, very difficult to do so.
Right.
And to put on that muscle mass that you then need to try to maintain over the course of a season can be very, very difficult. And that can affect your explosiveness. Now, some guys, just the way metabolisms work, some guys, it's like they need to ensure they're keeping weight off. Now, some guys, it's like they need to ensure they're keeping weight on. And it can be difficult for those guys to even get enough calories. Like they can just eat neat. Then you still have to eat things that are healthy, right? You're not stuffing your face full of McDonald's, but you have to eat so much chicken, right? It's like, those guys that are playing 25 minutes a night, they got to eat 2.5 chicken breasts compared to someone that plays 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes a night. And, you're not a big guy, so it's like you're having trouble trying to get the calories in you, the healthy calories, the good calories in you, in order to keep that weight on. So it absolutely can affect you. Now, have I noticed he's way more slight? Tom, you've been in the dressing room and around it a little bit more, so I can't say that I've looked at him and been like, oh, he looks really gaunt.
No, he doesn't. No.
Right. A prime example, though, of this would be like last year, Matthias Ekholm. Right, where
he looked slight.
He looked slight and gaunt compared to how he typically did, and I think you could see via performance. Now, is it a reasonable assumption to say that, hey, they've had really short off seasons the last 2 years, and he probably hasn't been able to put on as much muscle as he'd like? I think that's fair to say that, and is it fair to say that, well, maybe that potentially changes a little bit for him and how he's playing? I think it's reasonable to say so. Still the best player in the world.
Can't deny that. He's got good power in his thighs, though. He has he's built like a gazelle.
No, he is. Those hockey, those guys, their legs are huge. And they're like even Crosby. I remember the first time I saw him, I was kind of surprised. Like he's got that big legs and hockey ass, and
there's the
that guy's. Yeah, right. But
Marty St. Louis was the same way.
Marty had a huge legs too.
Yeah.
But no, he's played a lot of hockey, and that's absolutely right, Cassian. I don't have the problem about being able to keep weight. I put on weight, obviously no problem. I don't have that issue. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. When you're playing as much as you are, burning as many calories as you are, it is hard for guys to kind of maintain that weight and the muscle mass, and it's hard to. He hasn't had a full off season since when? 2018. Like when?
Well, I mean, kind of the COVID in between the shortened year and all that.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. But but you're right. He's still the best player in the world. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Whatever reason. Maybe he can still dominate, take guys on. Maybe he's not doing as much anymore. He's not shooting as much. But I think he is a little bit more now that he talked about shooting. But he was giving up a lot of passes. But he'll be fine. There's no issue there. But it's just a long season, and he's played a lot of hockey.
Interesting conversation. All right, Cass, give us a little peek ahead to tomorrow night in Columbus.
Well, you just saw these guys recently, so they may be chomping at the bit to get an opportunity here again against the Edmonton Oilers. A very winnable game. Now, it is back-to-back. You have the emotional high today of an overtime win, but a very winnable game. Again, I think when we look at the Columbus Blue Jackets, it's a team that is a score-by-committee type team. They still don't quite have the high-end capacity, offensive firepower, have some fantastic defensemen that can burn you. You see the extra mobile and just stellar, a lot of fun, silky smooth in the Werenskis, and then some good young defensemen like Matejchuk, who struggled a little bit against the Oilers and against McDavid. But, for Edmonton, really, guys, if they come out and they play like they did in the first half of the game today, and really I'll say even throughout, because I thought Edmonton played a fairly good game overall today, they should win that hockey game. I would like to see more pucks, or more bodies rather, around the net when pucks are getting there. But hey, back to back with a little bit of travel, it's ice management, it's puck management, and it's keeping the brains active enough to not make stupid plays and shoot yourself in the foot.
Cass, we'll see if they can pull off their first 3-game winning streak of the season tomorrow night. Fantastic work as always, my good friend. Great to see you. Get some rest, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. There's Matt Kassian helping us break down the Oilers' 2-1 overtime victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. That was just the 14th win in Philly for the Oilers in 45, 46 seasons. in the National Hockey League. That's
They don't
not
play
counting.
once a year in Philly.
Yeah, and there was that stretch where there were some divisions that they wouldn't play against.
Yeah.
There was the weird scheduling that they had. But yeah, I mean, Stanley Cup Finals aside, 85 and 87, like Philly has not been kind to the Oilers over the years. So a big win for the Oilers. Actually, I have their win-loss record in Philly. It isn't pretty. It was, it is now 14, 27, and 2 with 2 ties all-time at Philadelphia.
It's a tough place to play. It's a tough building to go in there, and Philadelphia's usually pretty. They're gonna make it work for everything if you go to Philadelphia. They still have that reputation. They want to get back to being big, tough, strong, physical team. And you go in there, they're gonna run you all night. And I think they did a little bit of that tonight.
Where's all the bars in Philly? The best ones.
Same with that street.
Market.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, and then the cheesecake places that we went to.
Yeah, Whiz Wid.
Yeah,
Whiz Without.
With or without.
Whiz or Wid or without. All right.
And what was the other one? Geno's and
Pats.
Pats and Geno's.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get to the turning point of the game. Brought to you by our good friends over at Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. Guys, I'm going to go to the goal that wasn't. With just over 23 seconds remaining in regulation, Travis Konechny, the redirection, past Stuart Skinner. He was screened in front. You think the Flyers pulled this one out. And then the league said there's the review from the league, and it turns out it's offside. The Oilers breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. They get to live another a few more minutes, and then they take advantage by scoring in overtime. So I'm going to say the goal that was nullified by the offside is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. You guys want to dispute?
No, that's pretty much it.
That's
we thought
it?
the game was over.
Yeah.
Everyone was here, was like, groaning, all mad, upset.
Oh, they were mad.
They were mad.
They were salty in here. We're at BP Clareview. Big thank you to Lisa and Jason for having us down here. We had a great ticket giveaway for the Blues game in January. A couple of prize packs were also given away. Fantastic. So when you come on down and join us for a game day live on location, you're usually going to have a good chance to be rewarded with some prizing for sure. All right, we got Benny Thomson back at the EST Global HQ. We got more of your texts that we're going to get to. 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat as well. Benny, did you want to hit on anything? Did you see anything in the nasty chat or the text line, or did something stand out to you while we were chatting there?
A lot of people just chatting around. There was a lot of talk around Skinner, obviously, which I don't even know if I don't even think we need to discuss Skinner. He made some good saves tonight. He had a 9.52, I think was the
save percentage.
Save percentage. 9.52. So,
yes.
A game where he didn't have to. Well, he saw some action in the third period, but I mean, the first half of the game, what do you have against 5 shots or something? It was pretty quiet. For
it was
Skinner.
what 20-8 on the shot clock at one point.
24/7 or something like that.
Yeah. It was a quiet night for him for the first half of the game, and then obviously Flyers started to turn around a little bit in the third, and he saw some action, and I mean both the goals that went in on him, one of them counted, but they both I don't think you can blame 74 on that one, but I saw some love from New Zealand. I want to give a shout out. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, I forgot. Didn't get to catch you guys. Callum from New Zealand says he watches the show occasionally, which is good, from New Zealand.
Excellent.
Worldwide love. But yeah, I just I don't know how you can be overly mad about tonight's win. We've dealt with a lot of angry people over the past however many weeks we've been doing this show to start the year, and rightfully so, because this team hasn't come off to the start that you wanted. But tonight, I really don't think this is a night where you can overly critique them. They played their game for majority of the game. You got to expect the team they're playing to have some time in their zone and some chances too. You can't expect it all to be tilted one way. But yeah, I just thought the Oilers played well enough to win, and they got the win. So you move on to tomorrow against a team that's going to want some revenge on you. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.
This is for Callum in New Zealand. Big thank you to Callum for tuning in New Zealand. We appreciate him. We're going to get to some text right away, but first we're going to go inside the Oilers locker room, and we're going to hear from the man with the game-winning goal. I've got some stats on him from our good friend Brian Swain after we hear from Jack Roslovic.
Another OT winner. Take us through the play. How did you kind of see that unfold?
They kind of got it up, a little jumbled. If you can just get a touch on it, sometimes it can help. It can be all the difference. So a little touch, and Savvy got a little touch, and then we both stayed on side, and he made a heck of a play.
I know it maybe took a little longer than you hoped for and expected to really start finding your groove, but you really have, and now you're making a true impact. What can you say about the journey getting up to this moment for yourself?
Yeah, just trying to stick to my game, trying to I've said it many times, but just trying to play fast, play hard, play with a lot of energy, and then let my skill take over. So
how about winning this game as a group? I mean, you guys are heavily out shooting them.
Yeah, we were playing great. Obviously, they were a stingy defensive team, but I think we did a good job of staying patient and playing good defense. We were the whole second period we kind of dominated in their ozone. So it was good to stack wins.
The flip side of that is you have to make sure nobody gets frustrated when you're taking the play. I think you had 15 straight shots at one point. Nobody gets frustrated when it's not going in.
Yeah, they do a good job of 15 straight shots and against and staying true to who they are. So that's just for us to just stay opportunistic, stay confident, and when your time comes to score, getting one.
Jack, when you are patient as a group, what does that kind of look like on the bench? Are you guys just trying to talk to each other, trying to keep each other?
Yeah, I think everyone's motivated. Everyone's going towards the same goal. Everyone's really got an aura about them, and everyone finds their job and their identity, and it's by committee.
When you're in tight like that and a goalie that big, did you have a place in mind, or did you just kind of see a hole open real quick and then put it in?
Well, when it's an empty net, you don't really see a hole. You see just a really big hole. So the pass was great, right in my wheelhouse, and really hard for him, obviously.
Did you imagine the start of your Oilers tenure going this good, Jack? I mean, the impact that you're having.
Yeah, no, I have confidence in myself as a player, and just want to come in here and help the team win.
All right, there's Jack Roslovic giving credit to Matt Savoie on the feed that he made on the game winner in overtime. You heard Cass talking about the shoulder shim and the little shake, getting Vladar to bite, and then he said, I had a wide open net to shoot at. So also when it comes to Roslovic picking up that goal tonight, 5 goals on the year, 6 assists, 11 points for the newest member of the team. Just double checking to see. Yeah, he just got the 1 point. +1, 20:59 time on ice, 4 shots, 3 giveaways, and 100% on the dot as he helps his team win for a second consecutive game. Brian Swain, our good buddy who digs up a lot of great stats, sending these in to us. Said Roslovic is the second player in franchise history with OT goals in back-to-back games. Cogliano, remember Cogliano?
And then they took his stick away and put it in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I saw it there in the gloves. I'm like,
and then he goes, I remember that day because they're like, we need your stick and your gloves. And he said, can I just give him another stick? And say, no, they need that stick. He was not happy. He scored 3 OT winners with that stick, and he had to give it away.
Didn't get that 4th one. And the gloves, too.
And the gloves, too.
Yeah.
He cared more about the stick than the gloves, though.
But that is true. 3 straight games, which is an NHL record from March 7th to 11th, 2008. It's funny because the gloves now, they just give the gloves because now these guys get 10 pairs of gloves.
Well, they go through a couple of pairs a game.
Yeah.
So, you guys, I don't know if some of the younger members will remember Rod Langway, the Washington Capitals. He used to go through 6 or 7 pairs of gloves a game because he'd sweat so much. So now they dry them off between periods. Yeah. But back in the day, you had to, now they have the machine that dries them all off. And
yeah, they have it has those arms that stick out. I do remember when the Oilers went back to the classic orange and blue after they went navy with the Reebok jerseys. Alish Hemsky would switch gloves in between shifts basically, and sometimes he would be wearing the navy gloves with the orange and blue jerseys, or the orange and blue gloves with he just wore whatever was available to him. And I was like, that's so weird. You're not supposed to do that. And he just did.
No, he just did. Well, it's the sweat. Once you start sweating in the gloves, you don't get the feel and you want new gloves, whatever. So, but I remember that. But yeah, the gloves aren't so, you'd think they'd be more, but yeah, it's the stick that Andrew Cogliano had an issue with. And I was standing right beside him when they had the argument. Can I just give him another stick? Who did he have it with? JJ there, yeah. He was like, I need your stick and your gloves. And we were talking to him, and he's like, can I just give him another stick? No, it's going to Hockey Hall of Fame. It has to be that stick.
Yeah, that's
so
funny.
He's like, oh, okay, I guess so.
And then they had, I remember we did I think we were doing, maybe it was the Combine. I got to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. They had that stick and gloves. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So I was there for that argument. That was pretty funny.
He's probably mad because there's a few goals left in that stick.
Oh, yeah. Like he had scored 3 overtime goals in a row. You don't want to take it away from you.
Yeah, that's funny. It's just one of the oddities, but these guys get a ton of gear all the time, and it's all taken care of. It's just kind of one of those neat things. All right, Benny, you ready to dive into the player of the game presented by Damon Bunting Real Estate?
Let's do it.
All right. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Ben Thomson, take it away, pal.
Can you guess where I'm going with this one?
I have a hunch, but I want you to confirm it.
I'm happy because he actually isn't in the 3 stars tonight, which is like I try to keep it, someone just not in the 3 stars.
Yep.
Matt Savoie, 2 assists tonight, in and around the play all game long. This whole season is like Cass was saying, the Matt Savoie today is better than Matt Savoie at the start of the year, which is great progress. And he's become a reliable player for the coach. And the points hadn't came until this game where he posted up 2, but he's been so solid, and I think it's just the bounces weren't going his way. Maybe a lack of finish here or there, but happy to see him get 2 goals, 2 plays that he pretty much created himself, lead to goals, and I'm just happy to see things are trending in the right direction for him, and I appreciate the ice time he got and all that stuff today. So yeah, he's rightfully so, I think, the player of the game for Damon Bunting.
Nicely done, Matt Savoie. A couple of points tonight, setting up the game. A winner by Jack Roslovic. Quick look at out-of-town scores. We've got the Chicago game on right now here at Boston Pizza Clairview. Unbelievable location. They rebuilt really nice DVD. This screen behind us.
That's amazing.
It is 174 inches of clarity.
It's unbelievable.
It is so
how
nice.
sharp it is too. It's like, wow.
Well, this is a 90. These are 3 98-inch TVs,
and then
you turn around and you're like, they look like nothing compared to that one.
That's pretty sharp.
It is
pretty
cool.
Sharp.
And then they turn on the mood lighting. They have the orange and the blue.
Yeah.
See that? Very nice. Lisa was like, I don't know if I like it with blue and orange or orange and blue. Like blue up top, orange down by the bar.
It's a good spot. It's done a great job here.
Very noticeable. Great time. Great prizes given away. Good turnout from some of our favorites here. Meeting some new people, which is great. One guy was on Evan Bouchard all night long. That one dude that was just sitting over here just... Yeah. That's great, Bouchard. Bouchard.
There was the one play where he's watching the puck cross the blue line.
Oh,
and then
that play.
Oh, maybe I should go play it. And then he played it with it was 2 inches past it. We're looking at him too. I was like, go get it. Go get
He's
it.
just like,
and he kind of just standing there. I think he just kind of zoned out. And he's, oh, geez, I'd love to try to keep that puck in. And then the guy was giving him grief. But I can understand it. But we were saying the same thing. It's like, why are you watching it cross the line? Go get the puck.
Go get it. Keep it in. That's important.
That's your job.
Just 3 other games on the schedule tonight. Light Wednesday in the National Hockey League. The Rangers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 7-3. The hook for Vasilevsky. He did not look.
The Rangers should play every game on the road. They should say, you know what? We'll just play every game on the road.
MSG has not been kind.
They're
to them
1-6-1 at MSG
and barely score there.
And they haven't lost on the road.
Yeah. 3-2. Utah leads Buffalo. 12 minutes left in the third. That one in Salt Lake City. And then you've got the Devils and the Hawks tied at 1 in the second intermission. Oilers get the 2-1 OT win tonight in the city of brotherly love. They're off to Columbus tomorrow. And just taking a quick look at the updated standings. I know there's a couple of games that still need to be wrapped up. But as of tonight, Edmonton now at 20 points through 18 games with the 8-6-4 record. They are now 3-5-2 on the road, have won 2 straight. LA is also at 20 points through 17 games. The Ducks just had their 7-game winning
Yeah,
streak
they got
snapped.
pounded last night.
Yeah, 23 points through 16 games. Kraken at 19 points. And then San Jose, surprisingly, at 19 points through 17
Well, those
games.
teams can't be bad forever. Eventually, got to turn around. They got all those young guys. And
Tell that to Buffalo.
well, I don't know what's
My
going on in
goodness. What a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Buffalo. They get young players and they trade them away. I remember someone went on a rant talking about how Buffalo was everyone else's farm team. Because they get these great players and they trade them away, and these guys go,
they become great players and
become great players.
they win everywhere else. And it's unbelievable.
They'll turn it around eventually, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I hope so. That's a good hockey market being
It is a
absolutely
great
tortured right now.
Great hockey market.
All right, really quick, I'm going to rattle off some text, so we'll get some final thoughts, boys. It's been a great show. Big thank you to Jason and Lisa here at Boston Pizza, Martina, Brienne, Julia, and Julie, and who else was working? Oh, Jaden. Absolutely tremendous staff here. Thank you to everybody once again. All right, this text says, I turned the game off after what I felt like a back-breaking loss. What a delight to find out the Oilers had major luck on their side tonight. Roslovic has been a nice addition. AJ in Speedy Creek, a.k.a. Swift Current, says, do you guys think they'll just run Skinner out tomorrow or for the next few games to get him in a rhythm? DVD, I'll let you handle that one.
No, Calvin Pickard will play tomorrow in the second of a back-to-back.
All right.
And then they got 2 back-to-backs here, so Calvin Pickard will probably play second of both back-to-backs, and then they'll go in Florida, and I'm sure he'll play in Tampa, and then the rematch against the Panthers. Back-to-backs is tough on goalies to play both games, especially with the travel. You get, these guys packed up their bags and flew out to Columbus, and I don't think it's
Quick
a long
hop.
flight. It's a
No.
quick hop. You get to Columbus. By the time you get in your hotel, it's like 2 a.m. We've been there.
Been there.
Yeah, we've gotten there at 2 a.m, and some of us have gone out at 2 a.m.
Who would do a thing like that? Who would do
some
a thing?
cities? The last call's 4. I was
Like
surprised
Chicago.
to find that out. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to go. So the goalie. So they go. They'll go with Pickard tomorrow. Hopefully, gets a good outing. And yeah, like I said, if you start the trip 2-0, then you're playing with house money kind of the rest of the way, and the pressure's off. And they want to come back with 4 wins would be a really good trip for this team.
Yeah, it would be actually.
Right? They come back with
Some
4
tough
wins.
cities.
3 wins would be not a great trip. 2 wins would be a bad trip. So and they don't want to fall behind. And then they got to play a ton of home games I think in December. They probably January. They play a ton of home games. They're home every second day.
Well, good chunk of the road schedule will be done by the end of this.
Yeah,
month.
they've already done 2 major road trips.
Yep.
And we're in November, so they've gotten a bulk of their road trips out. So.
Yeah, they have. Let's go to Josh from K-Town. Josh from K-Town texting in. He says, Savoie looking great up there with McDavid. Why won't they give Howard an extended look at the top 6? What has Mangiapane done where he deserves to stay in the top 6? I think that's where just one guy being a veteran and one guy being a rookie is the difference. That goes a long way with most coaches, and Howard likely heading down.
Well, you don't want to put that kind of pressure on a young kid, right? Like, hey, play top 6 minutes, and what if he doesn't succeed? Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
And 2, you got to earn those top 6 minutes by doing the right things at the bottom 6. Like, do the little things well.
Yeah.
Chip in, contribute, and then you got to earn that ice time. This whole notion of he should just be given that ice time because he was a really good college player. Like, no, you got to earn. This is not a development league. This is a results-based league, and you got to earn that ice time. And if he wants to get up in that top 6 and play more minutes and play with Connor McDavid, then you got to earn it.
Build that trust. All right, let's go to this text. Out of Saskatchewan says, the goal that wasn't. Nurse doesn't try and move a guy out in front of the net and then goes down on his knees from nearly the crease to block a shot. Why? Who knows? But let's not dwell on what ifs tonight. Let's enjoy the win. Yeah, Joaquin hates that one knee thing that Darnell.
I don't like it. I don't like him when he does the sliding. Starfish thing.
Sellout kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Joaquin said he hated when defensemen went down on one knee because it's like they get caught in between. It's like, are you blocking the shot or are you taking away the lane? What are you doing? Are you? And so it always frustrated him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it. Let's take a look ahead really quickly to Columbus before we wrap things up. Benny, you go first.
Yeah, I think this Columbus team is gonna be motivated, right? Like this is gonna be a team that's pissed off that they lost a game that they should have won Monday night. Like the Oilers got a little bit lucky, and if Columbus is just holds onto the puck for their power play, for God's sake, they're probably taking home a win. And instead they fall in overtime to Ohio native Jack Roslovic winning in overtime. So they're gonna be a motivated group. Fired up to play a team that they just lost to. So I'd expect a good game for tomorrow with the for the Oilers' perspective. That's 2 in a row. First time this year. See if they make it 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Oh my God, they were talking about like a good win streak. Who knows? Maybe I'm looking too far ahead. But
first 2 points in a back-to-back scenario for the Oilers this season, Benny.
There we go. So let's see if they can make it 3 wins in a row tomorrow night against a good team. It should be a good game tomorrow.
Benny bringing up Jack Roslovic is from Columbus. Could you imagine him getting a 3rd straight overtime goal in his hometown?
That'd be
against
awesome.
His old team?
You know what? He looks forward to go back to Columbus.
Yeah.
Spends his summers there. He's from there. We've been there. We've had some fun in Columbus.
Fun city, sneaky good.
Fun. You know, it's a fun college town.
The Ohio State University.
Ohio State University. We've had some fun there. I know it's funny because we were talking about that. You're right on with them. Why didn't they just hold on to the puck on the power play?
No idea.
We're watching the game looking, don't shoot it, and they shoot it. And I remember I went to the Columbus room to talk to the Columbus guys, and they're kind of like, why would we shoot the puck in that situation? Why would we shoot? And then I asked Dean Everson about it, and he gives me this look like, oh, you might get mad at me for asking that question. And he gave me a fantastic answer. He goes, yeah, we'd rather not shoot the puck there because they weren't even pressuring us. But it was his best defenseman that did it. It was Zach Werenski. So you can't get rid of it. He was the best defenseman. If anyone should know not to do that, it was him. But he was not happy that they just had to do is play 4 corners, throw the puck around, and keep in it, and don't shoot it. Don't give up possession. Obviously, a lesson learned from the Columbus Blue Jackets, and that's a lesson for all young kids. If you're up on the power play, you're winning. Don't try to score another goal. Just keep the puck, make them get it off you. And then don't throw it back to the point. Yeah, that's another thing, too, is you have to be careful of this. Just keep it down low. Work it down low. Run out the clock and celebrate the victory. Nothing good can come with throwing puck back to the point or shooting it from the point. Don't do that. That's a bad mistake.
That was Monday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll see if the Blue Jackets learn from their mistake. Really quick, how about these people responding to our blind rankings thing about who should be on Team Canada? Benny, I love some of the comments. Like, people don't understand the concept of blind rankings, and they just, like, attack, and you're like, thanks for playing along. Appreciate it. Anyway, I just saw it on X right now.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's I feel like they should know the game by now. If not, like, I feel like you'd pick it up as the game goes on. Like, we wouldn't just randomly unveil guys in our rankings in random order. Like this, it's a game.
You guys are idiots. You don't deserve to have a radio show. What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh no! When they call it a podcast, take away their microphones. They don't deserve their podcast.
Yeah, that's just as ignorant and dumb. So, well done.
Speaking of which, I heard the Kachuk brothers are going to start a podcast. That should be fun.
How long do you think that lasts? Can you say negative things about something that your company does?
No, it's going to be great.
Oh, okay.
I think it's good.
Do you think they do more than one?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's fun to you know what? Talk about personalities in the game and
they are
personalities. Those 2 guys are awesome.
Yeah, good hockey players too.
Yeah, those guys can play, especially Brady. He can play on my team anytime.
All right, the holiday playlist has been unveiled. A lot of vodka sauce in this. I had the crispy chicken vodka penne. It was delicious. What'd you have tonight?
Oh, I think I just had a sandwich.
You had the sandwich. Okay. Good stuff here. Check it out if you're at BP's. And the more important thing, the pizza for Ben. That's starting November 18th, running to November 22nd. It will be money from pizza sales at participating Boston Pizzas going to the Ben Stelter Foundation. $1 from every kid's pizza, $2 from every individual pizza, $3 from every small, $4 from every medium, and $5 from every large pizza going to the Ben Stelter Foundation. Great initiative by BP and the Ben Stelter Foundation. Love it. And so if you're thinking, feel like getting pizza tonight, and it happens to be like the 20th, BP, money going towards the Ben Stelter Foundation. Fantastic. Just want to remind folks, participating locations, pretty much most of, if not all, but most BPs in and around Edmonton. I think there's a couple that are not taking part. There's some in Calgary and Northern Alberta, even Southern Alberta getting in on it. Fantastic stuff. Mike and Leah Stelter, Ben's parents, working their butts off for the foundation. Just salt of the earth people, and obviously their son captured not just oil country's hearts.
I think the whole league.
The whole league. Yeah.
So. Yeah, and they are. They're salt of the earth people.
Yep.
And Leah Stelter. So whole family, fantastic. Yep. Doing a fantastic job keeping his legacy.
Great partnership with BP there. Big thank you to Jason and Lisa at BP Clairview. It's been fantastic. We are at Boston Pizza Westgate on Saturday.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That's where we're going to be. Come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun as the Oilers take on the Carolina Hurricanes. That night, that game's at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow night is also a 5:30 start. We're on the air at 4:30 for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. We're just in studio for that one. Myself, Benny, and I think Belsey will be our analyst for tomorrow. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk from Boston Pizza Clairview. For Derek Van Diest, for Matty Kassian, for Benny Thomson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Have yourselves a great night. We will talk to you tomorrow.